Hey, beautiful people. So, on the front end, before we get this thing started, I have to admit, Amax, I was wrong. I didn't know that Shannon Sharpe dressed down Cinco the way he did. I got to check out the clip. I checked it out about an hour ago. I ran into Marcellus Wiley video on his channel. Awesome channel, by the way. Shout out and salute to Marcellus Wiley. Now, I typically don't like to look at a reaction or a response video about a particular subject matter, especially if I want to talk about it, because I don't want my thoughts to be tainted in any way. But that's how I ran into it. It wasn't too long ago he pushed this video out, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, he pushed out the video, and I was like, well, if he was able to get that clip of this situation on Uncle, in a sense, pretty much son and Ochocinco, or dressing him down, however you want to say it, it has to be out there somewhere. So of course I typed it up, and around the association, this is where I got it from. So I've already fast forwarded to where they're gonna have the conversation and things of that nature, because well, I've already seen it, but that was my first time seeing it. But I want to go over it with y'all, because I definitely want to give my true thoughts, or my thoughts on this particular subject matter, now that I saw how it was addressed. And then one other thing that I want to mention very quickly, I think Marcellus, he said, based off his intel. Now I'm a paraphrase, because that's not what he said. But basically, it seemed that this was the first time something like this actually happened between Ochocinco and in terms of them doing a show together, in terms of him being late and things of that nature. Because on that, if you go watch that video that I pushed out a day or so ago, I was like, well, maybe it's already happened multiple times, and he had talked to him behind closed doors, and it just got to a point now where it's like, come on, dude, like, so if this is, and I told y'all, though, even on that same video, I said, but if it was the first time he's ever been late and snapped like that, then it's like, come on, dude, you like, lighten up, Buttercup, But even if it wasn't his first time, I definitely would say I wouldn't see myself handling it the way I saw it handled. Anyways, let's get to it. I give you my thoughts as we listen to what they have to say.
Video, and I'll be back. Let's pick.
His name was Alex. He was really cool dude. And as soon as he opened the car door and he got out the car door to greet me, the car door locked by accident. So I would have been on time, but the fact that we had to wait for the tow truck.
Before we continue to go, if I didn't already say on the front end, I was wrong. Again, I don't know if apology is warranted, but if it is, I do apologize. I definitely was wrong about this. Did son Ochocinco. This is supposed to be his partner. Even if he was an employee, I don't think he should have addressed it this way, in my opinion. But anywho, I was wrong. I'm just gonna say it again. I was wrong, and I want to make sure that that's clear, that I was wrong.
And them to bring the Slim Jim was the reason for my delay in getting to the hotel a little late. But I'm here now.
Let me ask you a question. So when you go to ESPN, you have people pick you up from the airport?
Yeah.
No, you don't. When you do inside the NFL, you have people pick you up from the airport?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
No, you don't. So I'm just trying to figure.
Now, see, and I get it. In this situation, even though they supposed to be partners, you can tell kind of when it comes to their dynamic, is almost like the employee, or the employer, and Cinco is more of the employee. It doesn't seem like a partner dynamic because you don't address your partner like this. To me, again, I wouldn't even address an employee like this in public for everyone to see. Okay, but my partner, my guy, that's supposed to be on equal footing or close to equal footing, hell no. That's even if Cinco was in the wrong, and like I said, based off the things that this video now that I'm getting to see, even if he's done it multiple times, we would take care of it behind closed doors. I'm not gonna address him in this manner. Now, the thing that I noticed right away, obviously, started making comparisons. I know we do this all the time as human beings. And I've done it before, where sometimes parents, without me giving out too much information. We run a business here dealing with kids and stuff of that nature, and sometimes parents do try to take advantage of things with us since we are family owned compared to like a bigger business, right? Like certain things that they ask to do when it comes to time, how long their kids could be here, things of that nature. Payment. We had payment issues in a while, but we did on the front end. But my point is, I remember times where parents would try to do things, right? Or they'd try to bring in these extra toys with their kids. And I'm thinking like, well, if you were taking them to this childcare here, this bigger business, this almost corporation type business, would you be doing that? Probably not. So we do make those comparisons in general. Just made the comparison, right? He's like, look, if it was inside the NFL, if it was ESPN, would you have done that the way you've done it with our show? You know what I mean? So I know we tend to do things like that. Now, the other thing I noticed and I didn't like, Cinco is saying, yes, I did. I've done it the same way. And with inside the NBA, inside the NFL, yes, I got the rods that they would give for me, like have for me first, but then I started doing my own thing. But then instead of saying, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that, you're telling this man that, no you wouldn't. Like, as a man, number one, you're already dressing me down like you're my fucking dad, right? Like, I think Cinco's 46, Uncle's like 55, so he's maybe about 10 years older than Cinco. But again, they're supposed to be partners. You're about 10 years older than him. You're talking to him like he's your fucking son. But then when you're asking him a question, which is already embarrassing enough the way you're talking to him in front of the audience to see, he's answering your question, and you're telling him, no, you're basically telling him he's wrong about the answer that he's giving. You're asking him a question about about a certain situation. He's answering the shits, and you're telling him, no, you wouldn't. Like, think about it. If Unc was in that same position, and somebody were talking to him like that, and he answered it, and he thought, like, the way I'm answering this is truthful, and they told him, well, no, you wouldn't. He'd be pissed. Let's just be honest. He would be pissed.
Why with your show would you choose to take that route when you don't take that route for ESPN and inside the NFL?
I wasn't lying. I'm dead serious. When I fly into Philly, I have somebody pick me up from Philly. When I fly into New York, I have somebody pick me up from New York. I'm serious. And
that ain't what they told me. I just told.
It doesn't matter what they told you, Unc. This man is telling you to your face, this is what I did. It doesn't matter. It's just like with Unc. When this situation happened with the IG stuff, I said, you know what? It's almost impossible to log in to IG the way he claimed it logged in. I can, I'm not even getting into that. I can try to go to IG right now, go IG Live. I've listened to multiple people talk about it that understands how IG Live work. Regardless of all of that, I said, you know what? Unless there's a reason for him to give me where I shouldn't believe him anymore, I'm going to take his word at it. Right? Like most people believe it's like, oh, he's full of shit when it comes to IG thing. Right? But I'm like, hey, I'll take his word for it. So it's the same thing with here. When it comes to Cinco, he's telling you what it is, but instead of taking his word for it, it's like, not only you're telling him, no, you wouldn't, but now you're saying that is not what somebody else told me. Which again, is not cool. The dressing down and the way you're talking to him already as if he's your employee and not your partner is bad enough. But now you're telling the man he's lying on what he's telling you, and you're telling him, no, based off what you're saying right now, this is not what other people told me. Even though Unc is supposed to be the one when it comes to situations. If somebody says something about me, if it don't come from me, if it don't come from the horse's mouth, don't believe him. Or if it don't come from somebody like, I think he says brother Shannon Sharpe or somebody that's really close to him. But you're talking to the horse. You're talking to the horse in a sense. It's coming out the horse's mouth in Cinco. He's telling you what it is. And you're telling him, not only you're telling him he's lying, now you're saying that somebody else told you that that's what it wasn't. To me, I'd be insulted as fuck. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest right now as men. If another man is talking to me the way Unc is talking to me, and it's supposed to be my partner, and he's saying the exact same shit to me, right? The way he's saying, hey, baby girl, turn it down a little bit, baby. Bear. Hold on, y'all. Bear. turn it down a little bit, baby? Daddy's doing the video. Can you turn it down a little bit? No, you're fine. Yeah, I ain't got no issue. Sing your little heart out. I'm the one. I should have been downstairs in the first place, so it's really on me. But I just like to lighten a little bit up here better. But anyway, so as I was saying, when it comes to this situation, yeah, I would have felt some type of way. I just know how I am, especially if we supposed to be partners. As an employee, I would have felt some type of way, but as a partner, oh yeah, you're telling me that I'm lying, and you're telling me that instead of taking my word for it, you're taking other people's words for it. I would have been pissed. I'm just being honest, and this is not me trying to cause none of these guys don't know me. Of course, I don't influence their thought patterns or nothing like that. But I would have felt some type of way. Cinco should have felt, and I'm pretty sure he does feel some type of way, as he should.
Oh, listen to me now. It's documented, huh? It's documented.
I'm just telling you.
But all you have.
He's telling you it's documented. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, Cinco. Number one, this should have never happened. But you're already going there, right? You're already going there as a individual in Shannon Sharpe. You're already going there. But he's telling you it's documented. So at the very least, after that, you could have been like, okay, all right, bro, you got it. It's documented. I'm thinking I know shit that I really don't know. That's my fault, bro. But instead of just leaving it alone, he's still trying to push the envelope. He's telling you it's documented that the things that he's telling you when it comes to the cars and the situation, it's happened the way it's happened with you in terms of when it comes to getting, I'm assuming getting a ride and stuff like that. He's doing it the same. He's done it the same exact way with Inside the NFL and ESPN, like he's had with the show in terms of Nightcap. Like, come on, bro.
Tell you what they search my tweets. I've been doing it the past 15 years. I always do this.
I'm not saying that.
Yes, sir. Talk to me now.
Ocho.
Right.
Again. Ocho, this is part of your show. Right. Why would you be late? Why would you run the risk of being late?
Well, I didn't want to be late. I just told me what happened. I would have been on time.
Yeah, this never should have been a conversation in front of us. Never should have been a conversation again. I'm going to say it again. I was wrong. I didn't know that this was out until now. Like I said, until I saw it like an hour or so ago. It just should have never been a conversation in front of the people. I've been to McDonald's and all these other places where I went and got food and stuff like that. And of course, I'm not trying to endorse anybody. It's not gonna be a lot of views on here anyway. But my point is, I've been to other spots and I saw it where you can see a boss is actually trying to flex in front of the people and have conversations with their employee about some shit, right? Like right there at the cash register, just dressing them down in front of people. And I'm like, damn, this is cringy as shit. Why not just have someone to come and take over and say, hey, Laura or Tiffany or Tim, can y'all come and take over for about 10 minutes? I need to take Jackson to the back and have a conversation with them. And go from there. But when you try to dress people down in front of other people, the only way I would say, the only way where I'm like, okay, it's cool to have the conversation publicly is if, like, say your child does something egregious to another kid right then and there. And then, of course, right then and there, you want your kid to handle that publicly in terms of apologizing and making sure that not only remorse is shown, but making sure that, like you hit this kid, you did this to this kid. So, yes, this is going to be taken care of right then and there. That's different. Okay? But in this situation here, again, that's your partner, bro. Again, if it was an employee, I wouldn't have dressed them down. But this is supposed to be your partner. This never should have happened. Ever. I can't think of a time in my life where I've dressed down my kids. Definitely not my wife. In front of a group of people because they did something I didn't like. Or, I don't care if they did it multiple times. Hey, boy, bring it down a little bit. I'm doing a video, big boy. You fine? But yeah, I can't think of a time, unless it was something where it was like, okay, that does need to be taken care of right then and there. But even if my wife was in the wrong about something, yes, it's going to be taken care of. But if it was something where I needed to have a conversation with her, where it's going to be like a come to, y'all use the term come to Jesus moment, we're going to do that behind closed doors. Do you understand? But yeah, this never should have been a conversation in front of us to see.
But due to unfortunate circumstances of him locking the keys in his car, which I documented, I was just a little late up when.
Why don't you, Ocho? Why don't you just have the people that you're working for just have them to
I don't
book
like
your
car
car
service.
service?
I don't like car service.
It's okay.
I don't like how them people they be mean and they be bougie. I don't like, they be in suits and ties and shit. That don't make me comfortable.
You can tell right there as Cinco was trying to string words together. He's already pissed. He's already in that situation. You already got him in the mindset where, how can I explain this? Yeah, have y'all ever had conversations with a kid? I'm gonna use my kids. I've had times where I would try to, if you want to say dress down your child about a situation. And once you start dressing them down, it's probably going to be hard to resolve the issue right then and there. One thing that I was taught by someone a long time ago is when you're trying to help them fix their mistakes about a situation, you do it when things are going well. But once you start dressing people down, your tone of voice change in a way where you're looking down at them like you're over them. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, you're a parent or whatever, but I'm just saying when you're looking over someone like that, it gets weird. You can tell right now the way Ocho is speaking in terms of the car service and stuff like that. And he has the right to use what fucking car service he want to use. He says, this is what I want to use. This is what makes me feel comfortable. Let the man do what makes him feel comfortable. Now, of course, obviously, if it's really messing up his bag and he just doesn't want to change, that's something that he has to deal with. That's a consequence that he has to deal with. Just like you said, when it came to the IG Live. I'm not mad about that situation. It happened. I can't be like that was the action that was created on my end. I can't be mad about the consequences that come with that, right? I have to accept those consequences. Same thing with Cinco. Unless this has been a frequent thing that's hurting his bag, like really hurting him because of some, he's using these services and they're just like constantly messing up. Then that's an issue. But even then, you got to allow that man to make those decisions for himself. Okay? If it gets to a point where it actually hurts the business and the people, y'all audience come out, right, along with these sponsors coming out and it's like, hey, man, y'all being unprofessional because your partner over here is doing blah, blah, blah. Then that's an issue you got to tackle. But even then, you take care of that behind closed doors. But yeah, you got the person that you're dealing with. And this is something that I've learned, like dealing with my kids. I mean, it's been a process, obviously. But the one thing I've learned dealing with my kids, like there are certain hard rules where I'm like, okay, let's make sure we're doing this the best we can. But even with those rules, I'll bend them for them. I'll do certain things to help it make it easier for them. Example, before we get back to this. My kids, my kids, they only have to wash the dishes twice a week. I have it set up that way, right? They wash the dishes twice a week, and they don't do it on consecutive days, right? They do, one may do Monday, Wednesday, other Tuesday, Thursday. But when they're washing dishes, whatever method that they need to use to get that kitchen clean, I'm fine with that. If they want to watch their phone, have their phone put somewhere and do that, cool. If they want to listen to music, cool. I'm not gonna say, well, the way you need to do it is, you don't need to be on your phone. You don't need to be distracted. You need to just focus on doing that first, and then once you're done with everything, then you can go have fun. It's like, no, if you want to be on your phone and that helps you do things better, you're in my house. If that's how you want to do it, that's absolutely fine. So in Cinco's case, it's okay if Cinco, if this is how he wants to get to his place of business, you got to allow him to do that. It's not now that's a control thing. You know what I mean? And I get it. Unc wants things to be professional. He's a perfectionist. He's already talked about all these things. So I'm not, this is not me trying to go out to Unc and make Unc seem like the bad guy. This is just me being fair. Okay, this is just me being fair. But again, if Cinco's going to make decisions that could hurt him long term, and it's a constant hiccup based off his decision, then of course that's something he's gonna have to live with based off not making the adjustment. But as of now, it's like, dude, if that's how he wants to get to his place of business, let him do it that way. He a grown ass man. You know what I mean?
That don't make me comfortable. What makes me comfortable is like being able to sit down and talk Wait,
You want to be comfortable, or you want to be
no,
professional?
I don't want to be. No, I want to be comfortable. I want.
Good. I love the way he answered that. He wants to be comfortable. And I don't think that was an ego thing there. It was like, look, this is the way I want. I get it. Again, there's a power, not even a power struggle. It's more of a control struggle, more on Uncle because he is a perfectionist, and that's what it is when you got a person that's like that. And it seems like on Uncle he's always being used to taking, what would you call it? Taking direction, right? Undisputed, he was a part of that show, but that was more Skip. When he was in the NFL, I think he played for the Broncos. Obviously, the quarterback is usually the captain or the leader of the team, and I think it was John Elway, right? When he went to the Ravens, I don't know who was the captain there, but I would assume it would have been Ray Lewis or whoever the quarterback was there at that time. And then I think he went to CBS and other things, but now he's in a position where he's in the driver's seat with Club Shay Shay, with this situation here with nightcap, things of that nature. And then you're being a perfectionist, and now you got a team under you and all that stuff. Yes, I get it. Those things, those things could put you in a mindset where you feel like you gotta be in control of all times because it's upon you. If something goes bad, you got to take the blame for it. So you'd rather be, hey, I want to have all this control. So if something goes bad, at least it was on my turn. So I get that, but again, he's a grown ass man. This is supposed to be your partner, not your employee. That's what I'm assuming, based off what we've been told. And so when that's a partner, you never address your partner again in public the way this is happening, and you definitely allow him to make decisions that's going to be best for him. Okay, I get it, Unc. You got a certain way that you like to get to your goal, but Cinco has a certain way. It may not be your way, but he has a certain way he likes to get to his goal. And if it's not hurting anybody and it's not hurting the product overall, right, you got to allow him to do it his way, and that's okay.
I want to talk to people that I can relate to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just there. But see, here's the thing, Ocho. You say you.
Yeah, it's a control thing because he's telling you, he's giving you his perspective, and there's obviously more things that Cinco want to say but he can't say. It's the same thing like when Uncle's on Undisputed. You can tell whenever he would have conversations with Skip, sometimes he would dial it back a bit. You can just see that he was walking on eggshells because he's like, look, I don't want to make it seem like. And this word is going to sound bad, but if you've ever seen if you've ever read a little bit of 48 Laws of Power, you don't want to make it seem like you're outshining the master. And I remember a story on there where there was a guy who wanted to put on do a party for the king, right? I can't remember the guy's name, but he threw a party for the king, but it was so luxurious and just so out of this world that it actually backfired. Right? He thought like, oh man, this is gonna make the king so proud. The king's gonna be like, yeah, that's my boy. But what ended up happening was the king actually got jealous. And if you look in history, a lot of the kings were that way. You just always wanted to make sure that you stroke that ego. But in this case, it was over the top, and I think the king had him banished or something like that because he was just doing way too much. Point I'm making here is, you can see Shannon had that same approach over there Undisputed, right? Because he's like, look, I'm a part of the show and I'm a partner. I'm using that in quotes, but I don't want to try to too much outshine Skip, who's giving me this opportunity. And now you can see with Ocho's kind of in the same situation. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other emotions that he has to compress that he doesn't want to show at that moment, and there's things that he really want to say, and he knows it's like, I just can't say it at this moment because it just wouldn't be appropriate at this time, and I'm not in that position. Some people may say fucking and say what they want to say anyway, but I do appreciate the restraint in Cinco. But again, it's my second time watching the video with y'all, but I'm saying I didn't know it was like this. Again, I was wrong.
You want to be professional. You want to do ESPN. You want to do all these professional things, but you want to take a bootleg ride.
No. I want to remain my authentic self the same way I always been and do those things. Is that okay?
Okay.
No.
Okay, let me know how that work out for you. Colorado.
And I didn't like that either. Again, there's that control. Now, Unc did admit that he's not a patient guy. Obviously, you can see there. But then you can tell that he's a control freak. He's probably a control freak. I don't want to put that on him based off just this one incident, but I can just tell every time Cinco would say something, it was more of, instead of listening to understand, it was more of listening to respond, or listening to rebut, or listening to try to make Cinco adjust his thought pattern. You know, but yeah, so I yeah. But I didn't like like how he dismissed them whenever he just said what he said, and then instead of they didn't even really finish that conversation. He just kind of dressed them down, and then after he couldn't really make Cinco say what he wanted him to say, he was like, fuck it, let me just go on and start talking about the stuff we need to talk about. I didn't like that. I thought that was cheap on Uncle N. And this is not me trying to kick him because everybody else is kicking him. Now, if Cinco was in the wrong, or if it was something that made me say, like, I agree with Uncle with this, I'm gonna agree, right? I'm not that type that's gonna follow a trend or follow a group of people way of thinking just to do it. In this case, Uncle's wrong. It's just what it is. But I didn't like how he dismissed him right there at the end, when he still couldn't get Cinco to kind of think and, I guess, change his mind and just kind of go down that path that he would want him to go down, the way he would want him to go down.
Colorado lost to Nebraska 28. Okay.
Yeah, that's it, man. I definitely, I see why people are feeling the way that they felt when they said karma when it comes to that IG video, which, if he did what a lot of people believe he did, it wasn't even karma. It was just him on some bullshit. And it was definitely unprofessional if he did what he did, which I did say that on the video. I was like, look, if he did set this up this way for that video to get out the way it got out, then yes, he was definitely unprofessional. But yeah, I that's my thoughts. I guess that's all I gotta say. But I would like to hear what y'all gotta say in the comments below. I know that this is, in the internet world, an old video, but I definitely wanted to get my thoughts out there once I got a chance to see that part, because I didn't know that. Of course, it was already out there based off of live, but I thought it was scrubbed. And of course, nothing's gonna be scrubbed when you got a bunch of people watching Club Shay Shay, because somebody's always gonna be screaming recordings. So thank you, Around Association, for that video. Shout out and salute to your channel, and yeah, I'd like to hear y'all thoughts in the comments. And before we get out of here, if y'all have video ideas that y'all would like, or things that y'all would like to talk about, y'all can reach me at, what did it say? So if you go on, so it'd be Gmail, but it'd be amaxbusiness05@gmail.com. Like, if there's business, I said business, if there's video topics that y'all would like to talk about, things of that nature. And I just don't really have a lot of time right now to make videos the way I would like to. That's why the videos are so spaced, then they're so spaced out and things of that nature. But as time go by, I will try to do better at making videos more consistent, especially the shorts. There's a lot of shorts that I want to do, where me and Unc going back and forth. I definitely want to keep those type of videos going, but these type of videos I want to be able to make in terms of long form content. But yeah, if y'all want me to react to something that would be more newer as time is going by, something like something comes up, y'all want to talk about it, amaxbusiness05@gmail.com. You send me a video, I can react to it, and we can, go from there. But anyways, to the next video.